What's going on YouTube? It's your boy Price Man reacting to another video here, this time from Legion of Men. Now, I've actually been a long time viewer of this guy's channel. And here, just want to get that off the screen. But, you know, this is why I like the internet. Sometimes you can, I've never met, never met this guy. I don't know this guy personally, but there's sometimes this is the good side in that we can connect with something or someone. So, for example, there's a story I sold in one of my older videos. I believe it was the Coach Rick Adams reaction video. I believe it was that video. But anyway, I told a story where I was at a party and this girl dropped that neck and then she got my personal product, if you know what I mean. She guzzled that down, gulped that down. So whatever you want to say, right? And then later on, her boyfriend comes. I didn't know she had a boyfriend. All right, so don't put that on me. And then she started kissing on him, and I was just like, felt disgusted, and I just couldn't believe the hell I was seeing, and I was just uncomfortable, and I left the party shortly thereafter, right? Because you can't tell the guy what just happened because they're gonna get mad at you, and there's no good thing come out of that, And the reason I bring that up, there's a story he was telling me that this guy, his name is Bo, I believe, how he went to a club, met this chick, blah blah blah. They went back to this party, right? And during the car ride there, she dropped that neck. Same thing, finished, if you know what I mean. And then when she opens the door to the party that they're going to, she starts kissing on her boyfriend. And he was saying how he felt sick. He just couldn't believe like what he was seeing, and then he didn't want to say, and he left. And before people sharing these stories, I've told a few people this, right? And they looked at me like I was crazy, like that could never happen, like I'm making this shit up. But then this guy who I've never met, no contact with, I believe is a little older than me, the whole nine, but he has a similar story to mine. So I think that's the power of the internet. Sometimes you can connect with people even if you don't know them personally. And he has a lot of good content. I've been watching his videos for quite some time. I remember even back in the day, he had this girl. I forgot what the girl's name is, but they would start off the video. He would say, "Welcome back, tribe," and then the girl would be like, "Hey, friends." It was pretty cool to see that. I don't know if they had a falling out or if they're still cool or what. If they had a falling out, my bad for bringing it up. They didn't. Hey, it's a cool little throwback. And then I'll share one more story too, to relate to him. When smashing another dude's girl, I didn't know this chick had a girlfriend. Did not know this chick had a boyfriend. And so I was working at a retail store, blah blah blah. We linked up. And then I end up smashing her for, I don't want to say like 2 hours in the backseat of her car. All right, because my car was in the shop. So, blah, 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 blah. Next day, I see her hugging up with some dude. Oh, yeah, she's like, this is my boyfriend. And yeah, we've been together for, I think it was like 6 months or whatever. And I'm just like looking at this broad. I'm like, you dirty broad. You just shameless, dirty broad. And then, yeah, it was a little sick to my stomach. It just takes the fun out of it. It's like, why would you? Anyway. And look, this is nothing to brag or boast about. I'm just saying how these things happen. I'm pretty sure there's been guys who smashed my girl. I know one girl cheated on me with some dude. I don't know if he knew she had a boyfriend or not, but it's not important. But, I've been on the other side too. It's just like, man, it's just grimy. But anyway, let's start this video.
Daniel sent $5. No revolution will ever happen due to multiculturalism. We no longer have unity and people do not fight and die for people that are not their own.
I think, yeah, I'll agree with that one. The problem is they create parallel societies inside, which they then reject the dominant culture they've immigrated to. They have no skin in the game, nor do they care. So these parallel societies make you feel like a stranger in your own country. And by the way, immigrants that don't plant real roots in a country are some of the worst people to bring in for any country in general. And if there is a war in XYZ country, it doesn't matter. The mass migrants, the illegal migrants are the first to flee. They don't build your country up. They won't bleed for it. They won't go fighting a war for a nation they don't consider theirs. America used to be monocultural. It was the American culture, and that was it. Black, white, Hispanic, Asian, didn't matter. If you were born here, raised here, spoke like one of us, thought like one of us, celebrated the predominant, Christian culture, Everything, all the same. Couldn't tell. Apart from skin color, you were good. You were good. But that shit's gone. Now there's actively funding from foreign adversaries, I would say, that literally is pushing people to reject American culture and carve out their own. So, yeah, there's someone says the Protestant ethic. Now we have the black culture separating itself, white culture trying to separate itself, Asian culture separates itself. Then there's LGBTQ. It's not even race anymore. It's also ideas. There's ideologies of the right and left separating itself. Then men and women are separating themselves, right? It's like, I need to fight for me, for men. The chick is saying she fights for women and women's rights. And, so it's like we're divided across so many lines that when you are forced to make a decision about, fighting for a nation, the first thing you're going to do is fight for your group. Well, who is your group? Your group is those you immediately identify with. And that could be whatever, any one of the things I mentioned, not the state. Do you see how divided and far removed we are from the state? The nation. Who do you fight for? America. If you ask somebody that, who do you fight for? America is probably the last thing on people's minds now. I fight for insert rights. I fight for LGBTQ. I fight for women's rights, feminism. I fight for males' rights. I fight for, blacks in America. I fight for Asians, Hispanics. I fight for Jews. I fight for this and that. And, I identify as this thing. I fight for these non-gendered, non-binary. I fight for blah, 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 bro. There's a million fucking boxes that people assign themselves today. And that's what's causing a division in society as a whole. I think it's fucking toxic as shit, honestly. And we need to quash all of that. If you want to save this country, we have to get back to the one dominant culture that helped get it this far. That's it. If you live in America, you have to be considered an American. Don't give a fuck. Don't care where you came from. Don't care what you believe in. You're American and you believe American values, end of story. If you don't, go back to where the fuck you came from. We're not ready for that conversation yet.
Hey, and I agree with that. If you're not ready to adopt America's cultures and customs, and some people will be like, "What culture does American have?" Yeah, we do have we're like a melting pot in a sense, but we do have a unity here in the sense that we're supposed to speak English. That's the predominant language. It's I'll use a country as an example. So my mom's from Trinidad, and the main people in Trinidad are black people, Indians, like the Namaste Indians, white people, Chinese, and then the rest, everybody else. There's some Hispanics, and yes, the capital of Trinidad is the port of Spain. However, due to the British influence, English is the primary language spoken in that country. Okay, and so instead of people trying to have their own languages, because my grandma, she spoke. I always forget if it's So she's Hindu, but I always forget if the language is also Hindu or if it's Hindi. I know when you describe people who are Hindu, they're Hindi, but I know she spoke that. But she also spoke English, And when she came to this country, she got on a plane, had all her paperwork in order, went to, I'm pretty sure she went to Ellis Island. She told me the story, but she did the whole nine and, got everything squared away. She got citizenship for herself, and then, of course, my mom and the rest of some other family members, okay? So I bring that up because even though they're different, because, Chinese people are going to be different than Namaste Indians and like black people and stuff. They're going to be different in the sense of what they believe in, but they all still come together in language such as English so they can communicate with each other. And even if they don't have the same religion, they still don't try to force it on anyone. So, for example, the Hindu cats aren't going to be like, "Oh, you should all, practice Hinduism." But they're not going to do that, So that's something that needs to be changed. But definitely language is one of them. I mean, I get people, since I look Mexican, got people speaking in Spanish, right? And, I just tell them, no habla español, right? And most of the time, that's fine. But there are some people that try to bust my balls over not speaking Spanish. I'm like, bro, it's America. I mean, I don't want to sound racist, but look, bro, if I was in Russian, I don't speak Russian. How far am I going to make it in Russia? I mean, come on now. Get mad. Like, imagine me in Russia talking about, oh, you don't speak English? They're like, motherfucker, this is Russia. If you should be speaking Russian, son. So, but anyway, let's continue the video.
It's a very simple one, honestly. It's the bare minimum expectations of people who immigrate to America. That's it. Bare minimum, bro. It'd be so asinine to go to a country. Just imagine, and then telling them how they should be treating you and shit. Like that's what the migrants do in Europe. They go to Europe and Northern Europe, and all the other one like France, the UK, Germany, all the shit that you see, Sweden, blah blah blah. And the migrants are like demanding like Islamic rights and shit, Sharia law. They're demanding like things for Muslims to make their lives better and like their own spaces and all this shit. Bro, fuck off to where you came from then. It's not racist to say that. You're a guest here. And on top of that, the government spits on the citizens that work hard and pay taxes because the welfare state's paying for you. Our coffers are being drained. That money's supposed to go to us and our kids because we worked here for generations to build this country up. And these people come in here demanding that you give them special treatment. Fuck off to where you came from. It is not racist to say that. That's not hate to say that shit. Americans shouldn't feel ashamed of telling migrants, fucking speak English, bro. Or
Hey, and I will say this though. Yeah, I'm agreeing with what he just said. They should speak English. However, I'm not an ass. Not gonna say. Nah, not gonna use the word asshole. I'm not unreasonable in the sense we're not gonna expect you to speak perfect English. If you have a little accent, grammatically, you make some grammatical errors or what have you. That's fine. We just expect you to try. I think that's a big deal. I mean, we can forgive if you say the wrong tense of a word, but for people to come here and demand that we speak your native language, nah, fuck that shit. You got the fuck out of here with that shit. But let's continue this. So,
go back to your country. Don't be ashamed. That's bullshit. That you can't feel like your own in your own country. That's whack, bro. I don't want to walk around America and hear nothing but foreign fucking languages. Go back to your country. I speak English. I had to learn it. I sound completely natural. So why the fuck don't you if you've been here longer than I have? If I'm going to live permanently in some place, I'd want to assimilate as much as I possibly could. Wouldn't you? That would make my life easier, sure as fuck. Yeah. The fuck out of here, bro, with all your languages and your customs and all that. The moment you sign that paperwork to come here and live in this country in America, you're done. That shit's dead.
but I will say one thing, just not to be unreasonable. I agree with most of what he says. Still follow your customs, obviously, in the privacy of your home. We're not going to say if you're like, Muslim, Hindu, what have you. Still follow your belief system. But what you cannot do is just come up and expect us to follow your shit. That's not, no. Hell no. That's like, hell, some of my own family members on my mother's side, they're Hindu and stuff. Obviously, when I'm in their house, I'm not going to, I'll follow the rules. Like, I was a kid going to the temple for Diwali, and I couldn't have a coffee cake because it has eggs in it, and I guess that's Fowler's meat. So I'm not gonna, disrespect them because I was actually in Trinidad at the time, and their house. I'm not gonna tell them, oh, fuck off. I'm in their country, their house. The hell. So I finished that bite I had of the coffee cake, wrapped it up, and put it away. I said, sorry, and then just watch what they ate. And because you're not supposed to have meat and a couple other stuff, or obviously eggs, and then going to prayers. I had this thing called prasad. It's like this little, I call it's like a snack pack. It's a whole bunch of stuff they give it to you during the prayers, especially during like Diwali and stuff. There's different forms of it. It's usually flourless, I believe. But yeah, I mean, I'm not that familiar. I'm not going to sit in, know exactly what I'm talking about. I remember having it as a kid, so I did experience that, but I don't follow it. And then also, they don't eat beef. I fucking love beef, but I'm not gonna demand they cook beef in their country, in their house, in their religion, So I ate a lot of chicken dishes and veggie dishes. I had this thing called dal and rice. I really do like roti though. Roti, it's how can I even describe? Let me see if I can just pull up a picture for you guys. So I'm familiar. I didn't know this. That actually Indian cats from India actually have roti as well. I thought it was just a Trinidadian thing. So let's see. Where's this is like sada roti. Where's the real roti? Hold on. There we go. So there are 3 types of roti in Trinidad. There's bus up shot, dal puri, and sada. That's the main ones. Like sada is this one. Kind of looks like that. I don't really care for that one. Or dal puri. Dal puri has a dal in it. It was like some type of lentil. But the bus up shot, this is the one. It's nice and flaky. It's just So I guess it's called a. I can't even pronounce it. Paratha? Yo, yeah, yeah. But man, ooh, it's good stuff. I do miss that. But back on topic here. I'm not going to demand they have my American now, but hey, cook me up a burger and some fries and some onion rings. That's asinine. So, and then there was this thing called doubles, which is like garbanzo beans and curry with a special sauce, and they have this style of roti, but it really tastes like the Native American fry bread. It's very similar to that, but yeah, it's just what he's saying. You can't expect to be a guest in someone's country, even if you're becoming a permanent resident or citizen, to cater to you completely. I mean, yes, I agree you should be able to practice those things in the privacy of your own home or when you're out and about. That's fine. But you can't demand people follow what you believe in or what other languages you speak. So let's continue the video.
Past is dead. Your country's dead. You are now American in America. Where you came from is a fucking distant memory. And if you want to revive it and fly flags of other nations and all that shit and be prideful where you came from, you can rip your fucking passport and go the fuck back. Goodbye. End of story.
So I get where he's coming from on this point. I will say this. If you rock both, I think it's acceptable. Meaning if you have an American flag and the country of the other country you're from, having both, I think that's acceptable because that's honoring your heritage, but also showing your future and what your current present state. Because if you want to be here, you got to be an American. So put that American flag up there. And it has nothing about being, super, like what's the best way to put this? How do I articulate it? It has nothing to be like, just owning your past. But you can fly both. I think that's acceptable. But if you just have the flag of, let's say, like Trinidad, but no American flag, or if you have a Mexican flag with no American flag, or an Italian flag with no American flag, it's like, bro, the fuck you doing, bro? Or you got like a Chinese flag, Vietnamese flag. I mean, we go down the list, the Philippines flag, but no American flag to go along with it. It's like, nah, son, fuck that shit. You got to fly both. I think that's acceptable.
It's not. Is that a supremacist of me to say? Oh my God, he's being mean. Yeah, go fucking back to your country then, because it's so much worse than America. Even being oppressed in America is better than the shithole you fucking crawled out of. That's what they don't want to tell you. While they fly their flags and demand special treatment and say how the institutions are corrupt in America, their fucking shithole countries that they're from had them starving to death, risking their lives to get here. Fuck off, bro. And this is, I say this because an American can't say this. I say this as an immigrant myself. That's what's crazy. I am a first generation immigrant, guys. I had to get naturalized. I was born in another country. I came to the United States as a child. Obviously, I have assimilated. Yeah.
So, I probably should Google this. I don't know what I'd be considered because my dad's an American. I don't have to worry about that. My dad's white. But my mom's from Trinidad. And she was born in Trinidad. She came here when she was, I want to say like 10-ish. Don't quote me on that. I should have asked her. But let's just say she wasn't an adult yet. All right? We'll leave it at that. So, I wonder what that places me. I mean, I was born in New York, But I only speak English. I don't know how to speak anything else. But I do have ties to Trinidad in a sense. But so I kind of get where he's coming from. I mean, even though he was born in a different country, I kind of have ties, and I've been to that other country, and I've met family members that would be considered first generation. So I'm kind of in an odd spot with that. But continuing on.
As another immigrant, looking at all these immigrants, send them the fuck back. Every single one of them. Don't feel bad. If you're an American, you're looking at all these immigrants. I don't give a fuck what name you give them. Third worlders, invaders. Call them what you want. I don't give a shit. You're a guest. You're a guest. At best, I don't feel any kind of way if an American looks at me and he goes, my country. My forefathers built this. And I go, yeah, they did, bro. Your family, people that say shit like, I got family that fought in a civil war, nothing but respect. I'm like, damn, you have roots, dude. You've been here since the beginning. You bled for this shit. Grateful for what your forefathers were able to create that gave me an opportunity in this country to be able to plant down roots and start my own family that will further provide and help build this nation up to be even greater. I am grateful for the sacrifices of the men before me, which I have no kinship to. But now, right, through, taxes, through the businesses that I've ran in America, I've provided.
And actually, before he gets into taxes, he brought up the military service. So my dad, he didn't serve in the military, my biological dad, and he passed. I'm gonna tell how he passed. This was a long time ago. I was still fairly young, but he did pass. And so later on, I did get a stepdad, and I bring him up because his father was a Puerto Rican cat, right? Who fought in the Vietnam War. Okay, and so, he was an immigrant from Puerto Rico, even though it's kind of a U.S. territory. They're not, full-on citizens. So he fought for the country, got full-on citizenship. But while out there fighting in Vietnam, he found himself like a Thai woman, blah, blah, blah. They got together. They had some kids. And that one of their sons turned out to be my stepdad. So my stepdad's half Puerto Rican, half Thai. Can't make this shit up. I swear. Blame the Vietnam War, But I bring that up because I noticed how even I guess that would make her, I'm gonna just say my stepdad's mom. Yeah, whatever that is to me. And I saw how she assimilated. She had a little Buddhist like necklace and shit. And but she did her best to speak English. It wasn't the greatest, but hey, she tried. She didn't expect any special treatment. She cooked some pretty solid Thai food. It wasn't bad. But I bring that up because they assimilated. That's what you're supposed to do.
I've helped build a bunch of things in there because I had a remodeling company. So I helped build up and repair the infrastructure. I've helped, in taxes alone, the contributions I've made are fucking insane. I paid back into the system 10x and happily too. But for the immigrants to come here, especially recent ones, and just pretend like this is their fucking land and they should have special privilege and like, what do you know about my struggles? Fuck off with your struggles.
I'm gonna bring this up right now, and they're talking about the struggles, bro. Growing up in pre-gentrified Brooklyn was rough, and I'm not saying that for any clout, because that shit don't put any money in my fucking pocket. But let's just say when you got bulletproof glass at the damn Chinese restaurant, and even Mike Tyson was talking about his time in Brownsville. Obviously, he's older than me, but it didn't improve overnight. It's still pretty messed up over there. I'm not sure about now, but when I was growing, it was still pretty messed up. All right, saw some shooting, saw people doing crack. I mean, there's a scene in Coming to America when they're throwing trash out the window. So basically, in between two tenant buildings, it's like his own personal landfill. So I've seen some shit. Blah blah blah. Again, it don't put money in my pocket to talk about it. If anything, it kind of has people look at me like I'm either full of shit or like, bro, what the fuck is wrong with this dude? But hey, it is what it is. So. But I have noticed the arrogance of a lot of some of these immigrants talking about, this country belongs to Mexico and blah, blah, blah. Like, you know what? You lost your fucking land, all right? If you want your land back, come fight for the shit. Fuck out my face with that shit. But it's like, what the fuck, bro? And the entitlement and arrogance. I mean, don't get me wrong. I will say this. I am for a path to easier citizenship, whether it was through the military. I know that was a thing for a while, but they kind of closed that. And then for some of the DACA, if you're making this proper steps and you want to naturalize, take the test and do things to better yourself and become a citizen and show allegiance, then I'm all for that. And then maybe have like a Saturday appointment. But for a mother effort to just come over here and not do a damn thing, expect all this shit, and they get mad when they ask get deported back because they didn't even try to become a citizen, that's their own goddamn fault. I said what the fuck I said. Let's finish this video.
Struggles, bro. Go back to struggling in your third world shithole. That's why we all ran away from there, because the situation's damn near hopeless. I'm gonna tell Americans how to run their country and shit. Get the fuck out of here.
Oh, and I know back in the day, I think it might be considered like a second world or country, or what's it, developing nation now. But Trinidad was pretty rough too. I remember going there. Some parts you're like, yo, what the hell is this? But now everything's all modernized. Everybody's got cell phones and everything's been built up and everything. So it's not the same. But I remember back in the day, it was kind of rough out there too. There were some nice areas, of course, and some beautiful beaches out there in Trinidad, but Jesus Christ. Whew. But let's wrap this up.
Just saying, boys. As an angry fucking immigrant myself. Jeez.
Isaac sent $5. I personally think it's best to know where you came from to remember why you're here.
Yes, they forget that the moment they get their papers. That's the problem. They pretend that shit didn't happen. And then they see their own countries with rose-tinted glasses, dude. That's the saddest part. I know what the real Romania is like. I am not under any illusion why my family chose America.
Jordan Anthony sent $10. In South America, they say you need to adapt to the culture all while people come here. They bring their own culture and have the nerves to be conceited like they're not guests is crazy work. Much love to all.
Yeah, it's just basic respect, man. And it's lacking in a bunch of people. And it.
Yeah, so I'll link the original video below. But yeah, I just want to have some closing thoughts on this. But yeah, for sure. Again, I'm not hating on people who are immigrating here. It's just I've noticed a change. People don't want to do the right paperwork now, and then people are flaunting it. There's some videos, I think Brandon Jamal had some clips of it when lady was talking about, we don't even like America. We just like the money here, and we just prefer Mexico. And even Brandon Jamal's like, the fuck? If you prefer Mexico, get your ass back there. And then there was also some like Middle Eastern cat saying something very similar. It's like, hey, yo, if you don't like it, you can fucking leave. Straight the fuck up. And no, I'm not bootlicking for no, MAGA group or anything like that, or fucking trying to be a model minority or what have you. But this shit is getting ridiculous. Like, bro, you're here for a reason. You must like it somewhat. Now, don't get me wrong. America has its fucking problems. The people, the elites that are here are doing their best to turn this fucking place into a third world country. Look what's happened over in fucking Europe. And it's criminal what the fucking people in power are doing to these damn nations. But that's a whole different topic. So I'm not going to sit there and be like, oh, we have no problems in America. I'm not saying that. Don't get this twisted. America has a lot of problems that need to be fixed. That's for sure. But it's better than a lot of countries, okay? Still is. I still think it's like top 3 by default if it's not number 1. I think China's on the up and up, but they still got a lot of repression for its citizens. So I don't even know. And then there's a lot of countries that are just falling, like New Zealand has gone to shit. Australia's going to shit. I already mentioned Europe, but man, so many nations that are once looked up as to be better or have a nice way of life are just crumbling. Greece is bankrupt. I mean, we go down the line here. It's pretty sad, actually. I'm not, trying to gloat over this shit, but it's like, dude, what the fuck is going on? But back on this point, it's like, yo, immigrants, show some respect to the country. Not saying never, show love to your home country, and not saying not to be proud of your roots. Even though I look Mexican, I'm always gonna shout out some love to Trinidad. I don't give a damn what anybody says, and show some love to the Indian cats, like the Namaste Indian cats. Even though I don't look like them, and they look at me sideways when I try to talk about some Indian stuff, right? Some Namaste Indian stuff. But hey, that's what I am, and I'm gonna roll with it. But I'm an American first. Till next time, YouTube.